Join us and help us continue to support the many talented people of our community. Learn how to get your business highlighted on La Crosse Local. Go to lacrosselocal.com and click on Advertise. Prevention is the key to a healthy life. That's why Gunderson Health encourages you to learn about vaccines and how they can help you and your loved ones stay healthy. Vaccines protect against preventable diseases and viruses by boosting your body's defenses. Visit GundersonHealthFacts.com to learn more. Artspire is back on June 10th at the Pump House Regional Arts Center. Enjoy live music from Nicholas David, Charlie Boy, and High and Rising, plus a fine art fair, interactive art projects, and visual and performing arts. The event is free to all. Learn more at artspire.thepumphouse.org. We connect once again with Chris Wysong of Bucket of Bread. He refreshes us on the unique baking bucket, new products, what he's excited for, and where to pick up or donate a bucket of bread. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
So we chatted with you on episode 328 about your path from baking and then the origins of the business Bucket of Bread. Do you want to revisit that a little bit and kind of just tell people who have never maybe heard of the business, of what it's all about?
So growing up, I had always been brought into the kitchen by my mom, who thought it would be a great idea for me to have that skill set so that when I, quote, left the nest, I was a little bit more self-sustainable than not having a clue on what to do in the kitchen to feed myself. So I was just always comfortable. I had great memories from that. And as life progressed, I just became more and more comfortable and was always the guy making the food. And eventually there were me participating in various charity events or whatever, and I'd bake something nice and people seemed to like it. And one day in a 2020 August dream in the middle of the night, I just woke up with this mindset that, holy smokes, I can totally put everything I've been doing for baking into a bucket and use that as a platform to help people. And I put it down on a little note, and the next thing you know, I'm actually following the steps like, hey, I can't shake this idea. This is something I need to pursue. And I started contacting places like the Small Business Development Center. I eventually came involved with WIBIC and the VBOC, the Veterans Business Outreach Center, and things like this, and just using the resources that are out there to help put this plan into place to where I eventually, through the Cooley Region Business Center here in La Crosse on the north side on Kane Street, was able to secure a location, renovate it for inspections, get insurance, and now I can manufacture these buckets of baking mix and ship them nationwide. And these things are pretty darn cool. I love to use them because it's more than just bread. You can just simply mix in 3 cups of lukewarm water, and 2 to 3 hours later, you have over a gallon of dough. It's about 4 pounds just ready to use. You reach in, grab what you want, and turn it into breads or pizzas or cinnamon buns, garlic knots, breadsticks, pretzels, bagels. The list goes on. And really, you're just limited by your own imagination. But I do have a bunch of the different recipes online in case you want to make more than just bread. But the nice part about it is that this dough will last up to 2 weeks in your fridge. So now it's like a clean ingredient meal prep kit for baking because there are no preservatives, there's no fats, there's no oils, there's no dairy, no egg, no sugars, just the certified organic good stuff. And it's vegan friendly and also kosher friendly. Everything I use to put into these buckets is certified kosher and certified organic. So the best part about the whole idea, though, is using it as a platform to do some good in the world. So I decided that at least 10% of the profits that this idea generates are going back into charities that are combating hunger and fighting food insecurity in America. And I've even given the option to donate it to go onto my website and donate a discounted bucket directly into the Hunger Task Force's network of distribution for their food.
That would go locally. It looks like it says the Bucket Benefit Program. So you can donate an actual bucket. You can purchase it at a discounted price, and then it'll be basically be given to someone who needs it.
Yeah, so the location here, this Kane Street Cooley Region Business Center, not more than a quarter mile away is the Hunger Task Force of La Crosse. So when the orders through the website come in for a donation, it's easy for me to manufacture those, bring them right on over to their office with the printed receipt, so they can then send back a thank you and a tax donation form so people can fill that out and use it as a write-off. So it's a pretty convenient opportunity for them to do something with me being able to make those products for them and get them into the system to help people.
Sure. So, since we last talked, what's been happening with you?
As far as products go, at one point I had offered a box of the dough mix. Those went really well. People liked them and were happy. I even had some comments about how they were happy to see those come back, because right now I'm only offering that in the traditional white. And that's just because of the labeling that I do have is only for the white right now. The 1 gallon pail, once you get that water in, it'll, like I said, it'll rise to the top, giving you about a gallon of dough, about 4 pounds. Dump it out and divide it into twelfths and take those balls of dough and bake them into bread. So if you just imagine 12 softballs lined up, that's how much bread you can get out of a bucket. Or if you want to think in just terms of pizza, you can get 9 12-inch thin crust pizzas out of one bucket. There's an article in the advice section that lists a meal plan of sort of an example of how you could use that much dough over the course of 2 weeks for 2 people. There's also a subscription option. If you really like it and you're like, hey, I'm using a bucket a month, let me just sign up for the bucket a month plan, and it equates to about another 2 buckets every year that you get for free out of that because of the subscription system.
Just kind of looking at your newsroom from, other podcasts to some of these Hellman's Kitchen veteran food YouTube interview. Seems like you've been a busy guy here starting in 2023, getting a lot of people that are interested in talking about the business and what you offer.
When I do get somebody that contacts me and say, hey, this is pretty cool, let me talk to you, I'm kind of excited about that whole event. So it's a little hard for me to contain myself and show how giddy I really am. But like Steve Hellman there, he got a hold of me. We had both veteran-owned businesses through an organization called Bunker Labs, where we kind of go in and you try to figure out the ins and outs and making your business better. And his just happens to be this YouTube cooking show. And as a former U.S. Coast Guard chef, I was really, really excited to have him try it. And he just seems to love it and wishes he had that on his galley in the ship when he was making stuff, because I guess baking wasn't his favorite thing, but this made it so much easier. So
is there anything else you're excited about that's coming up?
Contacted by a lady that has this company in Michigan called Press X to Play, and she had an idea for a video game for her business. She saw my cartoon character, the little red bucket. She has this game idea that she wants to have launched by next year on the Steam platform called Get Prepped. And the premise is you live your life where you work, you earn some in-game dollars. It's a little Sims-like, but you're working in different places. And one of the places you can work is the bucket of bread factory, making these buckets. And you can have your bucket. There'll be a drop-down menu where it's like, make a pizza, make some bread, or whatever you're going to make. It's supposedly interactive that way. But something happens in-game, and it triggers the Get Prepped mode, and then apocalypse starts to take place. There's everything's breaking down, whatever the scenario, whether it's a meteor shower or whatever their scenarios are. Your character has to now survive the landscape in this universe, and bucket of bread becomes the primary food source. And my little futuristic factory with my cartoon character, he's robotic and he's roaming the landscape. And if you run into him, he'll give you perks and things that you can use to survive this land. The vehicles, they might break down. Because there's delivery trucks driving around with my logos on them. And those are lootable. And the nice part about it is there's going to be QR codes strategically placed. And because it's a PC gaming platform for Steam, you can then take your phone out and just take a picture of that QR code, and it brings you to a website. And it looks as if it's part of the game, but it's a real website where then the user from their phone can order buckets, can order swag, and it just brings together the gaming universe to the real world. So that should be fun.
That is wild.
So yeah, just an out of the blue, wonderful connection. And I just owe it to, sticking my neck out there and trying to get involved with as many things as I can.
Yeah. So, we heard you could pick it up, but how do people get the product? Free shipping too?
That's correct. And you simply just go to bucketofbread.com. And there are some buttons there where you can just start your order right away or explore the recipes. Those are free to look at. And there's articles and some advice, and it's growing every month, even more so. So just go to bucketofbread.com.
Also, you can do the direct donation gift on here as well. So you can get your own, but also then send one as well. So that's cool, man.
Yeah. And I like to say there's a good deed in every bucket because, I say as at least 10% of any of the profits I make, I am totally giving to the charities that are out there trying to do some good. A good deed in every bucket.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.